Hello again, and welcome to another Deer Stalking Gear review. We're back again with another scope review. Can't get enough of them. Today, we've excitingly got the Swarovski Z8i 1.7 to 13.3 by 50?
42.
42, sorry, scope for you. So we've had this for about a month or so now, and Tom's been trying it out stalking.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I mean, firstly, I find it a bit weird that the magnification range is 1.7 to 13.3. Very Swarovski. I think
Very
we were saying
German.
earlier, we can imagine a German engineer somewhere sitting and saying, this is the optimal range that you need to have. First thing to say about it, I mean, like anything Swarovski, it is beautifully made, very well engineered, very well thought through. I mean, even simple things like underneath the windage cap, there's a spare battery for the illuminated reticle on it. And something I didn't particularly like about it at first is it's got a slightly sort of weird profile on the eye objective, which actually is all the controls for the illuminated reticle. So the illuminated reticle itself is a single dot in the middle of a crosshair, but also a sort of ring around that crosshair as well. And you can choose using the kind of throw lever at the back here, so if it's daytime, you flick it to the picture of the sun, and it will light up the illuminated crosshair, but at a bright enough level that you can still see it in daylight. If it's dusky or night conditions, you flick it to the moon, which is the nighttime mode, and it will light up the illuminated reticle, but in a much dimmer profile. And then regardless of which setting you're on, if it's either too bright or too dim, you can adjust it with these sort of buttons on the top of it. And what's really, really clever is whatever setting you then leave it on, if you turn the illuminated reticle off or change it to a different mode, when you put it back to that other mode, it remembers what you last had it on. I mean,
It's very clever.
it's wizardry.
It is, and we've used quite a few illuminated reticles, and everyone seems to have a different approach to it. Every manufacturer,
Yeah.
it's not like a standardised way. I think that is extremely clever. The only slight downside is if you are like foxing or something like that, you can't put anything over it.
No,
But you know,
it's and the fact that it's just there. So when you're down behind the rifle and you go, oh, I need to adjust the illuminated reticle, you're there instead of like leaning over to try and do it here or twisting dials or
yeah,
like
it's true.
it's very it's like minimal disturbance when you've got it fixed to the rifle, whereas like having to twist something or turn something or press something on sort of higher up the scope, I think there's more potential for you to move it around. I mean, otherwise there's not a lot more to say about it really, other than that it is just very well built. I mean, even things like this, the turning magnification ring, there's just not even like a hint of stiffness or burrs or anything in it whatsoever. The glass inside it is absolutely flawless, is amazing. I think I'd been testing this at the same sort of time as doing the Swarovski EL range binoculars, and I'd probably say the same thing about this as I did the binoculars, which is that you won't necessarily see I wouldn't say later in the night with one of these than you do a comparative scope. But what you do see is more clarity. So I said again on the binocular test, I used a Snellen chart, which is one of the eyesight tests that you get with all the letters on it, and basically had this next to my Schmidt and Bender scope, and you could still see, I mean, if a deer had walked out, you'd have been able to see them in both, but on mine they're probably starting to become a bit of a grainy mess, whereas on this you could still see and you'd be like, oh yeah, it's a fallow doe, it's, I don't know, looks in relatively good condition, it's XYZ. You can just see that little bit more. It is just that bit sort of clearer, I'd say. It's not necessarily anything else other than that. It's got adjustable parallax on the side, which again, it's just got, you can tell someone's really thought it through and put a lot of time into it. So it starts off at 0, it's then got a 50, 100 meter and infinity sort of total settings or steps along the way. And each one, as you turn it, when you get to the 100 or the 50, it sort of clicks slightly, which sounds really silly, but it's just those kind of nice touches that
it's the small things.
You can tell someone's put some serious time and money into this.
Yeah.
Talking of money, it is some pretty serious money to buy one. It's £2,880, so it's not something you're probably just going to buy on a whim as such. But overall, absolutely beautiful scope.
They are the best in class, aren't they? And I think
are.
Neither of us really had used many Swarovskis. I used to have a really old one, but not like the sort of modern ones. And you know, you can see why they have the reputation that they do. But a lot of money.
Yes.
If you want the best, that's what you got to pay, I guess.
Yeah.
But thank you very much again for watching another Deer Stalking Gear review. Do leave us your comments, like, subscribe, and check out all our other videos. Thanks.